Learn medicine Carbo Vegetabilis from Keynotes by Dr. H.C. Allen. होम्योपैथी अपनाएं, बीमारियों से छुटकारा पाएं. Hello, welcome to my channel on homeopathy. If you are not subscribed, subscribe to the channel now. The purpose of knowledge shared here is only educational and to increase awareness. Please always consult your doctor before taking any medicine. Self-treatment may always be injurious. Today, you will learn a few important symptoms of the medicine Carbo Vegetabilis, which may be very helpful in our daily life. So please crush the like and share this video. Now let us go to the video Medicine Carbo Vegetabilis in Keynotes by Dr. H.C. Allen. Medicine Carbo Vegetabilis is made from the vegetable charcoal. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for the bad effects of exhausting diseases, whether in young or old, like cinchona, phosphorus, sorinum. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for cachetic persons whose vitality has become weakened or exhausted. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for persons who have never fully recovered from the exhausting effects of some previous illness. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for asthma, which dates from measles or pertussis of childhood. Pertussis, also known as whooping cough, is a highly contagious bacterial disease that affects the respiratory tract. It is caused by the bacterium Bordetella pertussis, which is found in the mouth, nose, and throat of an infected person. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for indigestion from a drunken debauch. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for the bad effects of a long ago injury. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for when the patient has never recovered from effects of typhoid like sorinum. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for ailments from quinine, especially suppressed intermittents. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for abuse of mercury, abuse of salt meats. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for bad effects of spoiled fish, meats, or fats. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for complaints from getting overheated, like enzyme crude. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for bad effects from loss of vital fluids, like causticum. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for bad effects of hemorrhage from any broken down condition of mucous membranes like cinchona, phosphorus. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for weakness of memory and slowness of thought. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for epistaxis in daily attacks for weeks worse from exertion, face pale, before as well as after hemorrhage. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for hemorrhage from any mucus outlet. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful in systems broken down, debilitated. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful when blood oozes from weakened tissues. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful when vital force is exhausted. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for Hippocratic face, very pale, greyish yellow, greenish, cold with cold sweat after hemorrhage. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for looseness of teeth, easily bleeding gums. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for patients who crave things that make them sick. Old toppers crave whiskey or brandy. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for patients who want clothing loose around the abdomen. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for weak digestion. Simplest food disagrees. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for excessive accumulation of gas in stomach and intestines, worse on lying down. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful when after eating or drinking a sensation as if stomach would burst. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for effects of a debauch, late suppers, rich food. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful when irritations give temporary relief. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful when diseases of the venous system predominate like sulfur. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for symptoms of imperfect oxidation like argentum nitricum. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for deficient capillary circulation which causes blueness of skin and coldness of extremities. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful when vital powers are nearly exhausted. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful when patients desire to be constantly fed. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for hoarseness, worse evenings, hoarseness in damp evening air, hoarseness in warm wet weather, hoarseness, voice fails when exerted, in causticum hoarseness, worse in the morning. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful when a patient awakens often from cold limbs and suffers from cold knees at night, like apis. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for frequent involuntary cadaverous smelling stools followed by burning. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for soft stool voided with difficulty like alumina. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful in the last stages of disease with copious cold sweat, cold breath, cold tongue, voice lost. This remedy may save a life. Relations. Complementary to Carbo Vegetabilis is Kali Carb. Carbo Vegetabilis is useful for the want of susceptibility to well selected remedies like opium, valerian. Compare Carbo Vegetabilis with cinchona, plumbum in neglected pneumonia, especially in old toppers. Compare Carbo Vegetabilis with antimtart in threatened paralysis from inability to expectorate loosened mucus. Compare Carbo Vegetabilis with opium when there is a lack of reaction after well-selected remedies fail to permanently improve, like valerian. Compare Carbo Vegetabilis with phosphorus in easily bleeding ulcers. Compare Carbo Vegetabilis with pulsatilla for bad effects from fat food and pastry. Compare Carbo Vegetabilis with sulfur in acrid smelling menstrual flow and erysipelas of mummy. Aggravation. Carbo Vegetabilis is worse from butter, pork, fat food. Carbo Vegetalis is useful for abuse of quinine bark and mercury. Carbo Vegetabilis is worse from singing or reading aloud. Carbo Vegetabilis is worse in warm, damp weather. Amelioration from eructation, amelioration from being faint. Dear friends, your support means a lot to me, and I would like to ask you to like and share the video and subscribe to my channel. It is completely free. Dose medicine Carbo Vegetabilis 6, 12 and 30 potency 1 to 5 drops in 10 ml water on empty stomach or as advised by your doctor. A hug, stay with God, and until the next video, bye. Wishing you a happy and healthy life. Thank you.